It's Thursday. You know what time it is. Time for the hottest wrestling podcast on the planet. Beyond the Barricade with your hosts, Dollar Bill, the Cleaner, and the Brain. Let's get started.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between and all around, thank you so much for tuning back into the show. Brain, what has your brain concocted for us this week?
This week, we're looking at the greatest upsets in wrestling history.
Ooh.
However, before we get into the topic, this past Monday was the 22nd anniversary of the worst terrorist attack in United States history. And at this time, we're going to take a moment of silence and observe a 10-bell salute for all those who died that day and those who continue to pass away from the effects of the attacks.
1 second. Whew. Yep.
Oh,
you got,
one more thing before we get started.
Yes.
With all the kerfuffle over the altercation between Jack Perry and CM Punk at All In and the subsequent investigation and leading up to the termination of CM Punk's contract with AEW, there was another major star who left AEW, and it really wasn't reported. This person was an absolute phenomenal talent. They could do the high flying. They could get down and dirty. They were one of the most entertaining wrestlers I have ever seen, and I have seen them in person. I saw them shock the world when they kissed EC3 in the middle of the ring. That person is none other than Sonny Kiss.
I'd like to just say a correction. It was reported that they were not gonna renew his contract, and even at the press, I think it was for All Out. Yeah, Tony confirmed. Yeah, it was a hard decision, but they had to let him go.
And of course, you had to go and ruin it.
Yeah, of course.
You fucking.
I always ruin it for my friends.
You fucked up.
So
you fucked up. You fucked up. Remind me to put that in the show notes next time. Include the fucked up chance.
Yeah, that's definitely a good clip. So, gentlemen,
yeah,
upset time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cleaner,
upsets.
why don't you lead us off?
All right. There's so many to choose from. So you know what? Let's go back to probably when you think of wrestling upset, the one that everybody thinks about.
Let's
1, 2, 3, kid. Yeah, shoot.
I was saying, let's also quickly define what an upset is, just to make sure everybody gets a real clear understanding.
So when somebody like the Brain defeats somebody like me in anything.
Is that the other way around?
That's not an upset. That's an expected result.
No. That's a major upset.
That's only because you're a legend in your own mind.
That's why I'm the champion.
All right.
If you only knew what I know and what Tim knows.
I'll put you both in the next WWE game. We'll see how it goes.
If I knew what you and Tim knew, I would know less than I know now.
Oh.
That's a burn.
You'd also weigh less.
No, hey, true.
That was a nice couple burns there. It's already hot in here, so let's just not make it more hotter before I turn them to nothing.
Well, if you wanted to get hotter, just walk outside.
No thanks. I
Yeah,
got something else that's making me hot. 5-0 whiskey.
lightweight.
That's just a starter. What are you talking about?
You want good heat?
Yeah.
Go right to Tennessee Fire.
Ooh.
Jack Daniel's Tennessee Fire.
Ah, damn.
I find Fireball to have too much of a cinnamon taste.
But I like cinnamon. That's why. I love cinnamon.
You like cinnamon? Go take a spoonful of cinnamon and see how you do.
I have. I survived. Otherwise, I don't know why I'm here.
You're just a figment of everybody's imagination.
Poof.
All right, come on, Clean. Let's get into this. Give us your first upset.
So, going to one of my favorite venues of all time, although the downstairs part, I've never been to the upstairs part. The Manhattan Center, 1993, mere 7 months before I was born.
Dang.
Probably the most prolific upset in history. The 1-2-3 Kid, also known as Six Pack, also known as X Pac, Sean Waltman defeats Razor Ramon, aka Scott Hall, in probably the biggest upset in WWE history, let alone wrestling history. And it made his career.
That's true.
So what are your guys' memory about that night and that match?
I heard about it the next day. Like, I didn't really have cable back then, but I heard it from a couple people I was hanging with. And I was trying to remember this. This was still okay. I'm trying to remember what the exact date was in '93. Was it like the early parts or?
For some reason, I want to say it's March. It was a couple of months into Monday Night Raw's run.
That's why I'm asking, because that'll tell me who was when it told me. That was one of my boys back in high school. And he was telling me about it, and I had this shock look like, what? And later on, when I got to finally see the match, I was just like amazed that I saw this kid as a jobber, and all of a sudden he's being Ramon, and I saw over at a friend's house the ensuing feud that began. Especially with the briefcase.
May 17th, 1993.
Yep.
So it was May, so it was a little later than I thought.
Yeah.
Same first 6 months before I went to college.
Yeah.
So you're good.
I remember watching that match the night it happened.
Man, what was your thoughts on it?
I was like, damn! Because this kid, you could turn him sideways behind a telephone pole and he would disappear.
Yep. I remember that.
He was almost so thin you could turn him sideways behind a chopstick and he would disappear.
You see this little screwdriver?
Ramon had a hunt. Yeah, he was about that thin. Still is, but even 30 years later. But Razor Ramon had a good 100 pounds on him easily. A good 1.5 feet of height. And just the way he came off the ropes with the moonsault and caught him and landed on him and got the pin. Just the Manhattan Center blew up that night.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? This lightweight just did that?
Yeah, this twig just beat an oak tree.
And it was one of the most. It really set him for his career.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
and he's had a hell of a career.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Very respected.
I was always had a liking for 1-2-3 Kid and X Pac, but when he joined DX, oh my God, his comedic talents just took off.
Yeah, that was just amazing.
That whole group was just insane with their interactions.
Agreed.
All right. Dollar Bill, your first upset.
Oh God, you're talking about somebody whose memories right now still the Swiss cheese. So it's it takes a bit.
What do you mean still?
Exactly. I mean, there is something
I'm in
upsets
rare
over
form
here.
today, boys, and I'm just getting warmed up.
All right, here's a flamethrower. I saw one upset that my memory is still kind of fuzzy, but I'm hoping it helped remember. It was Candido when he was in WWE, and I forgot whose job it was that pinned him. Horowitz, I think it was. I think it was David Horowitz. I remember saying that because I saw that, and I saw like that happening.
Oh,
wasn't the first
yes,
time.
when he was with the Body Donnas.
Yes, that one. Yes.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, thank you. I was like,
and Sonny was there, and she was outside interfering in the match, and Candido had him rolled up, and then they flipped. It was a small package, and they flipped the small package, and Sonny's like standing out there, yeah. 1, 2, 3, yay! She turns around and goes,
yeah, because I remember it was the first time I actually saw an upset, which because back then, like back in the day when we watched wrestling TV, like Wrestling Challenge or Superstars, it was always the top talent going over all the jobbers,
yeah.
Pretty much see Savage in the match, you knew Savage was going to win, or Morocco, or Santana, and so on. So it was like, Candido was on. I was like, I expected him to win, and then all of a sudden see Horowitz, and I was like, wait, a jobber won? Like, what? That was like a first time shock for me, that one, as a kid too. So, and I remember all the, I didn't think they didn't do much of an angle after that. It was just kind of, I think maybe a couple weeks and then kind of faded in the background. But it was still interesting though for the first time for me to see an upset like that. So that's one of the first upsets I remember. I wish they did more of an angle, but oh well. That's WWF for you back then.
Yeah.
Cleaner, your turn.
Oh, what about Brain? Did you
Oh yeah.
I'm going way back before I was even born. Yeah, I'm going way back before I was even born. Yep. I'm joining Mr. Peabody in the Wayback Machine. Peabody and Sherman. We're going back.
You got a DeLorean from Doc Brown?
That's Back to the Future. That's still a good one.
That's the time future, or that's the time travel.
I got a TARDIS right there with Doctor Who. I could just use that.
This is a match where they needed to call out multiple police units.
Yeah.
Because there was a riot at Madison Square Garden. Ivan Koloff takes down the living legend Bruno Sammartino in 1971.
Yeah, that's before I was born too. Man.
This was during his first reign. He held the title for almost 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unheard of today.
Yeah. If a guy holds the title for a month or two, that's a lot. But then again, let's not talk about Roman Reigns. We're not going to go there.
But
I swear to God, he's sucking Vince's dick on that one.
Hey. No. I will
Remember,
actually...
it's NSFK.
Right. But here's the thing. I'm actually going to compare between Roman and another guy in a couple seconds, because you brought as like a good point brought up between what makes a good title reign. Because you know who I'm talking about. Or should I just fuck, I'll mention it. So it's like you have Roman Reigns' title reign, right?
Yep.
What makes his different than Gunther's?
Gunther actually defends his title. Gunther has had more title defenses in 1 year, or a little over a year, than you've seen Roman Reigns defend his titles.
I just want to point out the difference to the crowd. That's like, saying, well, Gunther just makes, has this long, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but Gunther actually delivers. Whereas Reigns is like, next month, next month, next month, Like he's saving for pay-per-views, which is, I don't know. I'm not agreeing with that. But anyway, go back to the call-off match. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they were damn near ready to call out the National Guard because there was such a big riot going on at the Garden that night.
Yeah. And for everybody who complains about wrestling fans being a little crazy now, you haven't seen from the past, guys. It's like some of y'all, like most of y'all are amateurs compared to some of the guys way back then.
Yeah. Just the sound of the crowd makes you wonder how the Garden was still standing at the end of the night. Because Bruno was the man for so long. And it's just like,
I think I actually, oh, wow. I said, you said 72 or 71?
71.
Okay. I actually found the match.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got it too.
Yeah, you want to bring it up?
Yeah, hang on one second.
Yeah. Just like, put it towards the end because it's like the reaction is what we're looking for. And yes, folks, this is black and white. All you kids out there, we had TVs in black and white.
Hang on. It didn't clear.
Oh, I see it here. Hang on.
Hang on. Let me rewind.
Yeah, we want to just.
Off now with a big scoop slam. Oh, he bounced off that man. Koloff going up to that top rope now. He's up against the top. Oh, down with that big Russian leg drop across San Martino. No. Oh, you can hear the pin drop. First time ever.
Place about to blow the
San Martino. Pinned in New York City.
Yeah, blowing the fuck. They're gonna blow the fuck up on this one because that's insane.
Wow. Let's see what's going on. A pin drop, so it's like very quiet.
The new champion, Ivan Koloff.
Oh, you hear it?
Get him out of the building. They're gonna riot. They're gonna riot. Get him out of here, Koloff.
Yep.
Damn. That's like quiet, very quiet,
and then
boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hear
the initial shock, and then you start to hear the crowd chanting bullshit and kill him and everything.
You hear countless stories of stuff like that happening down in the South. Riots and stuff like that. But to see it happen in the New York Federation,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Lawler.
Oh, yeah.
He's got stories.
Oh, yeah. His promotion was known for that.
Mm-hmm. Damn, Lawler, and as much as people may not like him entirely, Cornette has stories too. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's just crazy. Like I said, fans.
Probably half of them are New Jack.
Yeah.
New Jack.
$1 bill. I'm going to go back to your upset.
Cool.
For a minute. I'm looking at Barry Horowitz's win-loss record.
Mm-hmm.
He has a winning record in 1, 2, 3 promotions. He has a winning record. He's a 500 wrestler at CWA.
Whoa.
He's got a losing record in All Japan. He's got a 500 record in APW. Impact, he has a winning record.
Yeah, but it's probably like 1-0, 2-0.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
The guy can't catch a break.
Nope.
Damn.
WrestlePro, he has a winning record of 100%.
He must have wrestled later into his life.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot later than I think.
Now, unfortunately, we all know him as the Jobber in WWF. However, he does have double-digit wins. He has 17 wins.
He's probably got 400 or 4-digit losses.
Actually, believe it or not, only triple digits. He's only got 230 losses.
230.
So that's like every
in WWF.
Yeah.
His
1 in 4 matches. He
win-loss record
won.
total: 24 wins, 6 draws, 301 losses.
Damn, not even 10%.
And that is from Internet Wrestling Database. No, he lost 90% of his matches over the course of his career.
90%? 96%, you said?
90%.
Oh, 90%.
Just about 91% of his matches he lost.
Man. Should be in the Hall of Fame somewhat.
There ought to be a Hall of Fame for jobbers.
I would not disagree with that. Because even jobbers have the most important task.
If they could put a jobber in the WWE Hall of Fame, they could make a Hall of Fame for jobbers.
I'm not going to disagree. I agree with that.
And we all know who that jobber who went into the WWE Hall of Fame is.
Jones, was it? Steve Jones?
Nope.
Oh, who was it?
Coco Beware.
A chop? Well, yeah, later on.
He was a freaking jobber. He took the first freaking tombstone.
I remember that. Oh,
you know who took the second?
I can't remember who took the second.
Superfly.
Shit. That's nuts. Superfly took the second.
So, all right. Cleaner, what's your next upset?
All right. Let's take a trip outside the WWF.
Yay.
Let's head not that far away. Philadelphia.
Philly.
EC Dub.
Oh, yeah.
EC Dub.
EC Dub.
Their probably biggest lovable underdog, Mikey Whipwreck, taking
I love the guy.
Sandman in a ladder match for the world title to become a triple crown champion of ECW. Still going to this day. Oh,
I like Mikey too.
Everybody loves.
Yeah, he's cool.
Everybody loves Mikey Whipwreck. The match itself, I don't think I got a chance to watch it. Have you guys been able to see it?
Let's see.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, the one that I remember most with him was that he was able to defeat in his first match as champion, he defeated Stone Cold, although not yet Stone Cold. And then later on,
I found the match.
He defended against Sandman and Owen Austin.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna bring it up right now.
No,
I found it, but I'm just not gonna bring it up now. We'll watch it later.
Yeah, after you viewers go home. But yeah, no, Mikey Whipwreck, one of the most iconic talents from ECW, one of ECW's most iconic homegrown talents. And I think he still sometimes wrestles today. If not, he's definitely training a bunch of the future, bunch of those indie guys from those early 2000s days. He was training them.
Yeah.
Way back. So many good things. He also had short hair. I just took a quick look at that clip. He had short hair, which surprised me.
I know him to like have like short-ish hair, like hair the size of mine.
No, he had mine in that match. But later on, it grew out a bit.
Yeah, because like I've always known him to have that the colored hair with the tie-dye outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very unique.
He was out there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right, Bill, you're up next.
Oh God. Let me see. We got a lot more we can go over. Let's touch upon an interesting one in WCW. The unmasked Mysterio against Nash.
Filthy Animals Mysterio.
Nice.
Exactly. It was like
that was a shocker.
I'm guessing this is like Nitro 99, or correct?
About. I think it was. Yeah, 99. Because that's when he moves his mask and everything. He looks so weird without his mask. It's like you get so used to seeing him with the mask on all the time. It's like the few times you see it without,
he looked like a 12-year-old.
You know, what's funny is that there was a kid across the street from who used to live across the street from me who looked just like him at that age. It's like weird. But yeah, it was the Filthy Animals one. I still think it was the dumbest thing to remove the mask. Like, that's when I knew it had no respect.
Yeah, it's literally the ultimate insult for a luchador.
Yeah.
Your mask.
It's their career.
Yeah. It's their life. It's their livelihood.
It's their identity.
That's a better word. Identity.
But you know what? Sometimes losing your mask could actually work out for you. In the case of Dr. Wagner, lost his mask and he's been hotter than ever.
Interesting. Sometimes it works that way.
I'm watching the finish right now to that Mysterio Kevin Nash match. Wow, that seemed to be a fast count.
You know, it was definitely more rigged than usual when you did a fast
count. Yeah. I think it was Neil Patrick who did the count. So it was definitely a fast count. Nick Patrick. Did I say Neil? My bad.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, Nick Patrick. His 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
Yep. And it was off a jackknife. And they fell down, bam, right on him.
That's still one of my least favorite powerbomb variations, to be quite honest. Like,
yeah.
I look at it and I feel like it feels like a sloppy powerbomb.
Like, it feels like he just throws him and doesn't give any protection.
Yeah. That's why it's not my favorite. I love the powerbomb as a finisher or even as a maneuver.
Yeah, yeah.
That version, I looked at and I cringe every time I see someone taking it. It's like I'm both a wrestler and Nash. Like I see Nash like doing it, and I'm just like, you're gonna hurt somebody one day doing that, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I'm surprised he never did.
Okay, my turn.
Your turn. Oops, that's right.
Going back to the garden.
I got it.
No, not the garden. The garden. Don't you ever insult the garden by calling it the garden. Take that Boston accent and go back up to Boston. Go hang out in Fenway.
Or you can go to the Boston Garden.
That's a little too
Boston Garden.
It's the TD Garden.
No, we're going back to Madison Square Garden, gentlemen.
All right.
December 26th, 1983.
Ooh.
Just prior to the beginning of Hulkamania.
I think I know where you're going with this one.
The Iron Sheik defeats Bob Backlund.
Yes, the great. Not like this jabroni son of a bitch Hulk Hogan.
Exactly. But the Sheik got Bob Backlund in the camel clutch.
He humbled him.
Yeah. Break his back and make him humble.
And Backlund's manager had to throw the towel in.
If only he could have done that
was dealing with some neck and back injuries at the time. And
if
he
only he
wanted
could
to
have done
get
that.
seriously injured.
If he could have done that to that jabroni, stupid son of a bitch, Hulk Hogan, we wouldn't have to deal with him and his continuous lies.
Oh,
well, you know what? He did put him in the camel clutch, but he
Hogan
never
lifted
submitted
him. Nope.
Oh yeah, brother. I put him in the camel clutch, brother, and I told him this is Hulkamania, brother. That doesn't work for me, brother. And I lifted all of 7,000 pounds of Iran, and I flipped them down in the middle of New York City, brother. And I stopped the World War, brother.
Oh my!
That almost sounded good.
Yeah. Oh, did you know Hulk Hogan was supposed to be in Metallica? He was also supposed to be in AC/DC, Sum 41, and NWA.
And also, he wrestled in Wembley.
Yep. Oh yeah, he wrestled in Wembley. Oh well, no, he actually did the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, that's different. Make a wish.
He also wrestled in Roosevelt Stadium.
Oh yeah, yep. He wrestled.
He defeated Pedro Morales for the Intercontinental title at Roosevelt Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then he single-handedly started WCW. He gave Ted Turner the money to start WCW.
We're getting way off base here. We need to reel it back in.
Hulk Hogan, the ultimate upset. Yep. He upsetted Yokozuna.
Oh God! Wait. How about the match with him and Warrior?
Oh yeah. Hulk Hogan won every single match they ever fought in. He also, single-handedly Hulk Hogan won the Monday Night War in the greatest upset of all time.
How about the fact that he won the WrestleMania 4 tournament?
Oh my God, Hulk Hogan won the World Series for the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2001.
He won the Stanley Cup for the Rangers in '94. And then defected over to New Jersey and won the Cup for the Devils in '95.
No. We're not going to insult. No, we're not going to insult them.
I just did.
No, too late. He also taught Schwarzenegger how to lift.
Yes, he did.
And
he discovered the quantum physics.
So that's why we have Quantum Leap.
Yep. E equals MC squared, brother.
I got one.
He also single-handedly threw the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki from Hawaii.
Yeah. He developed, the whole Oppenheimer. That's a biopic of Hulk Hogan.
I know.
And then,
all right. Stop.
Only one question, though. One question.
Yes.
Was he? This made me think. But when he took on the role for Rocky 3, did he actually get fired from the WWE for taking that role?
Yes.
Okay, that's the only thing I was trying to remember if that's really true or not.
Yep, he got fired for that, and then they hired him back right after that.
Because he got fired by Vince Jr. Senior, and then got rehired by Junior.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I want to know.
Yeah.
That's a clip.
So.
All right.
All right.
See.
Cleaner, you're up.
Wait, no, I just had Whipwreck.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, Dollar Bill, you're up.
Oh man, me and my upsets, I'm not exactly sure. I was taking a look at some of this list. I saw one interesting here. Okay, I'll make this really quick. There was a match in Wrestle Kingdom 12 where it was Okada versus Naito.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the opinions was that since Okada won, but it kind of was like, what?
Yeah, no, everybody expected. Because here's the thing, you know why I don't really consider that an upset? Because it's Okada. You know, he was the ace in New Japan. He's still the ace of New Japan.
Oh yeah.
But that was everybody expected Naito to win because that was his shining moment. You know, it was all leading up to this grand moment that he was going to have, and unfortunately, it didn't come.
So this is an example more of failed expectations than an upset, then.
Yeah, because that's also become the story that every time Naito he would get a crack at that main event in the Tokyo Dome, something would go wrong. Like the first time, they had a poll, so it was Naito and Okada. Wrestle Kingdom 6, I want to say. It was Naito and Okada, and then for the Intercontinental title, it was Nakamura and Tanahashi, and there was a fan poll: who should be the main event? And Tanahashi and Nakamura won. So right then and there, that was like a letdown. I was like, oh my god, like I don't have the Tokyo Dome. And then he gets the Tokyo Dome main event, and then loses to Okada not once, but I think it was twice before he actually won. I don't remember if it was Okada that he beat. Oh, because it was when they unified the titles. I don't remember if it was Okada or Bushi that he beat. But yeah, he was able to get that main event finally, and then I think it was Okada that he beat. But then Kenta ruined it. So like he's never had that proper main event Wrestle Kingdom Tokyo Dome main event like moment.
Yeah, Naito definitely deserves it.
I don't really consider that an upset, although I would consider that more of the wrong wrestler winning.
Yeah, like I said, expectations,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good example then. Let's see what's the total difference between upset and who do we expect to win and didn't get it.
Yep.
Then there is another one, though, that maybe I could touch upon real quick. I just saw this list and I should really research this one more. I didn't know Hogan and Inoki wrestled.
Oh yeah, all the time in New Japan. All the time.
I didn't know that part.
And I'll tell you what, Hulk Hogan was actually a better wrestler in New Japan. Because that's how the style was back then. In Japan you'd work more. But in America it was all about the stories and the storylines and like promos and stuff like that. So it was completely different. So he was able to be more of a wrestler.
Which I saw some of his matches and I was like, wow, he wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, he wasn't on the level of Inoki, or he wasn't on the level. He was nowhere near Misawa.
Yeah, not here, but he wasn't down here either.
Yeah, no, he was better.
Kind of like here, maybe.
Yeah, because like if you see back then, like a lot of American, like the American stars that would go over, the top guys, even from the WWF, I'm talking about before the partnership between WCW and New Japan. A lot of the top guys from the WWF would go to the New Japan, but then everybody else it would be depending. Like some people would go to All Japan, some people would go to New Japan, some people would go to the other federations, but yeah, Hogan, and I know too specifically, like Hogan and Andre would always go to New Japan. They always had that working relationship. It was all about who you prefer. Did you prefer Inoki or did you prefer Baba? But yeah, Hogan, like specifically, we could talk about how Hogan had that infamous promo where he said that the WWF Championship belt was a toy, and he wanted the IWGP title, which I think is more prevalent today.
Wow. Again, there's things about history that most wrestling fans say don't know and they should look into.
They should. Oh my God.
So,
which is why I'm disappointed in people like Cornette. Because Cornette and Meltzer, like two guys who could probably have an amazing show just talking about the history of wrestling.
yeah.
But they let egos get in the way.
Yep.
Egos and attitudes. It's sad, really.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. That was my 2 cents and 2 matches thoughtful. Next, anybody want to take one on the next one?
Yeah, I'll go with the next one.
All right.
They're calling it the ratings changer.
Shoot.
Mankind knocking off The Rock.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Good one.
Upset.
January 4th, 1999.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday Night Raw.
That was a monumental shift in the business.
And what makes it even crazier is that it was already revealed that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
It worked out perfectly.
Raw
for
wasn't
the
live
WWF.
at the time.
I think they were live every other week. I think that's how they used to do it. I think from what I remember hearing, they would film one show Monday, or they would film the live show and then do a taped after, or they would film on Monday. They would film the live show, and then Tuesday they would film the tape show.
Yeah,
I think it was that.
Yeah,
I know it was Monday and Tuesday with those shows. I remember that one.
Yeah, because then I remember eventually Tuesday became SmackDown's day.
Exactly.
But then Raw became live every week.
Yeah.
And then what they thought was going to be a key win for WCW that night turned out to be it backfired on them.
Heavily.
Because people tuned into the WWE and didn't watch the WCW main event that night.
Way to go, Bischoff.
Wasn't Bischoff.
I thought it was Bischoff. Oh, Russo.
Nope, wasn't Russo.
No, it was Bischoff.
It was
Bischoff giving the order to Schiavone.
Somebody said it in the ring.
Tony Schiavone.
But Bischoff gave the order.
So
it was Schiavone. Both Bischoff and Schiavone have said it was Bischoff's choice. Idea. So is Bischoff giving the order to Schiavone to do it? And like Schiavone felt so bad that he felt so bad that he called Foley like a day or two later to say, "Hey, I'm sorry about that. I didn't like this was an order."
Yeah, bring it up.
This one that there it is. Hang on. Why did I see something different? Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
That was just no.
Yep.
That was just no.
Yeah, no, that changed the industry forever.
Yep. And that definitely started the upward climb for WWF, WWE over WCW.
Well, I would say that really gave him the edge because like then you had.
That's what I'm saying. It gave him the edge and the upward climb on the ratings.
Because I think after there was like a couple weeks later, Nitro had won the ratings war, but it was for like the final time.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. So.
All right, Cleaner, you're up.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go to one that I actually remember quite well.
Okay. Do talk.
So if we remember 2003, we had early 2003 coming off the it was still within a year within the name change. The freshly new WWE.
Get the F out.
Yeah, get the F out.
Yeah.
One of their biggest stars had come back in a new persona and had the rematch to one of the biggest matches of all time. And now he was on a new show. He was on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And he was working some wonderful backstage segments with one Shane Helms.
Ooh.
And they were given a match. And next thing you know, The Rock put over the Hurricane. And I think that was, if I remember right, I think like Stone Cold had come out. Because I don't remember. Because I remember Rock, there was several weeks from No Way Out to WrestleMania. And I remember The Rock being the second to last in a battle royal to determine the number one contender at WrestleMania for the world title. And Booker T beat him. I don't remember if the Hurricane match was before that or after that. I think it's after. Because if I remember right, I think Austin had interfered and helped give Hurricane the win. But that was still, it was insane to think that somebody of the Rock stature gave a win to the Hurricane.
Yeah, definitely.
And it wasn't even like Shane Helms' best persona. Well, maybe his best persona now, but at the time it was like, oh God, it's the Hurricane. It's a comedy segment. And he beats The Rock clean on Raw. Well, not so clean, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Ooh.
Some of the backstage segments those two had were priceless. They were priceless. One of my favorite lines that The Rock ever said was, he was on the call. He was on, like, Hurricane was there, and then he pretended like, oh, he's on the call. He was like, oh, really? It's nothing. He says he knows you. Yeah, no.
Man, The Rock was one of the greatest trash talkers in WWE, in wrestling history.
Yeah, definitely on the top level.
That Hollywood Rocks, man, that was something special.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah.
So what do you guys?
Bill, your turn.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. I probably only have one more.
I think we're gonna wrap it up after my next one.
Yeah.
I think if you're thinking around thinking of that really intense one in a WrestleMania, I think I might have to go with that one.
Be my guest then.
Okay. A crazy upset that ended a long traditional streak at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And we all
consider that an upset. I don't really consider that an upset.
A lot of people did. A lot, especially when it was just like
when you consider that the streak was at that point was 21-0.
I remember at that point thinking somebody's going to do it, but who is it going to be?
Like, we all did.
It was going to last.
We all knew somebody was going to do it eventually.
And we didn't expect Brock.
Yeah,
nobody expected Brock.
I did. I was like, Brock is probably the most believable.
Yeah, at that point though, a lot of us weren't. We were
and
just
they were
like,
supposedly friends. So I was thinking, like,
they are.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, why not? Why not? Give your friend the rub.
Yeah,
literally a rub.
But it was still legitimately viewed as an upset, just based on the streak. You know, it was almost expected that the Undertaker would win the match at WrestleMania.
It was also expected in a way that it was retired with the undefeated streak.
See, like,
exactly.
The reason why I don't consider it an upset is because, like, personally for me, I don't consider it an upset because
you're not a WWE guy.
No.
No,
it's. I mean, that is true, but it's not because I'm not a WWE guy. It's because when I say an upset, like when I think of an upset, I think of somebody like that's lower down the card versus like a main eventer, like a Maven versus the Undertaker. That's an upset. Not so much of Brock Lesnar, who's on equal plating of the Undertaker. I mean, yeah, you have the streaks, but like even then, like that, like even in like let's say the sports world, that wouldn't really can be considered on the other an upset because they're on equal level. Just because there's some streaks going on, it's not really so much of an upset. If you catch
the problem wasn't also Brock doing more like a part-time thing as well? Like
I think he was more active then than he is today.
I thought it was kind of part-time because I know
he's been part-time ever since he's come back.
That's the thing, though. It's also another thing where they're like, why let a part-timer take out the streak?
Paul Heyman explained it was because
I know Paul Heyman explained it.
Yeah, it was something along the lines. Well, I mean, I'm talking about like in a shoot interview later on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was like, it adds to the mystique of Brock Lesnar. Like now, it's like anytime you see him, he became like one of WWE's biggest draws. It was like, oh shit, like this just adds to the legitimacy of him. I'm like, plus, like former UFC heavyweight champion, you know. Like he was probably UFC's biggest draw until like Ronda Rousey or Conor McGregor, you know. So I mean, like thinking about it, when you think about it, like, and especially listening to Paul Heyman, it's like, you know what, it does make sense for Brock to do it.
At the time, though, before Paul Heyman, it was still a shock to a lot of people.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't a shock. It was a completely big shock, of course. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, when you think about it, like, if you look at all the list of opponents, Brock Lesnar is probably top of the table. Did he need it? Did he need it? No. I would say no.
Yeah. That's why that's also.
Oh, go ahead.
I was like, that's also kind of what contributed to the whole feeling of an upset. They're like, he didn't need it. He was still overweight as he is. And it's like, do we want him to really take the streak? I mean, logically, when Paul Heyman explained it, it does make sense.
I get your point.
At the time, it was like, wait, what? Because you could tell a lot of people were like, WTF and, you know, boards flooded and everything, you know, dogs and cats living together.
But what I would say, to counter that, would anybody else on the roster at that time, given a big shock, would have been a bigger shock value?
That's a question. Would they want? That depends. They still wanted to keep it, or they wanted to break it.
Because a lot of people were thinking and hoping for Punk to do it the year before.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I remember that but
now. Yeah.
But I think Undertaker put the kibosh on that thought.
I'll tell you why. Or at least I'm grateful the Undertaker won that night, because as he was walking to the ring, and I believe as he was coming up, they did the fire pyro, and it warmed me up. I was really cold that night, and that fire pyro really warmed me up.
That's a nice way of looking at it.
Yeah, because I had to see. Go ahead.
This one encapsulates the entire reaction to Lesnar beating the streak.
What? Oh yes, the infamous meme. See what I mean? Look at that! Like,
the guy's eyes are bugging out through his lenses, like he's in a cartoon.
Look at the guy next to him, like the other guy in the hat.
Yeah.
It's like, he's like,
You know what? One thing that really helped it was that they didn't play Brock Lesnar's music right after. It was silence.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was silence from everything.
That's it.
Yep.
And
I think that was done on purpose.
Yeah, it was done on purpose to make you think like, shit, did it really happen? Did it really happen? And then you start hearing, dun, 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 dun. You're like, oh, did it really happen? It really happened. And then because Brock Lesnar starts to walk up, and then you just start to see the 21-1.
Yeah, like, just realization. I'm going to use this real quick to go back to the example Brain gave about Sammartino and Koloff. I'm glad the fans were not like that back then. Can you imagine those 1971 fans with the reaction of an Undertaker like that.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would have been bad.
Definitely not be standing.
But then again, there is way more security today.
In fact, well, no, still, even though there's a lot of security, that'd still be a riot. You know, there should be people like screaming and everything. You know, it's I'm not saying like
70-something thousand people inside the Superdome, maybe more. Against
and like a good
300 security guards.
About 10% of them are 10% of them are Brits drunk off their butts.
Wait, we need the armor. We need the National Guard here, folks.
Bunch of Brits. Why are you? I can't believe you lost.
Cock ya, shut your yanking wanking hole, folks.
Shut your butty mouth.
Shut your cockney mouth.
Arsenal didn't bottle the league yet.
Oh God, to my Brit fans, I apologize. I apologize to all the Brit fans out there. We need better lessons on how to mock your accent.
While we could also give you lessons on how to brush your teeth.
Mocking.
No, we gotta do better. They're gonna look at it like,
no,
trust me, they do. Brits are like that. They want to be mocked on a higher level.
Who gives a shit?
No, it's like, who gives a damn? Who gives a wank?
Well, then again, it is Great Britain. All you could get is a higher level.
What's so great about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, have a chip, okay? Have some fish and chips and leave me alone.
They're called fried.
British cuisine. Mm-hmm. Like, that, really? Like, that's... Like, you could just make fun of them for that. British cuisine. Well, what is that? It's
how about piss warm? Don't they have that piss warm beer?
Fish and chips, warm beer.
Yeah. Fish and chips. That's just fish and fries.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's all right. Again,
they call potato chips crisps.
Crisps, yes. Hey, just remember, a flashlight's a torch over there too, which is even weirder to think about.
You know, I don't understand where they come up with these names.
But
just throw a dart.
That's another day, another story.
All right, folks. Have some interesting upsets.
Let's finish it up.
Yeah. So to summarize it, pretty much.
I don't know. We got one more. I'm going to go one more.
Okay, because I'll have a summary afterwards.
Time for unification.
Do say.
Jericho. Taking out Triple H. Taking out Rock and Austin at Vengeance 2001. In separate matches, no less.
Mm-hmm. So you know what? That reminds me of. Did Jericho ever tell you? There's two stories he tells about that night.
Oh God!
One of them is how he found out. Did you guys ever hear how he found out he was winning the title that night?
No, I don't think I did.
So he arrived at the show, and I don't know like the difference in times, but he was in catering. Vince McMahon was there, and I think he was talking to Undertaker. And Vince McMahon loudly says, knowing Jericho could fully hear him, "Oh, you know the business is changed when we're putting the title on Jericho tonight."
What?
Yeah. That's how he told Jericho pretty much, by having him overhear that. And Jericho, that was a funny thing. And then afterwards, Jericho had got back to his hotel room. And I think he had ordered a pizza. And he went to pick up the pizza, but he was locked out. And he had, if I remember right, he had to use the titles to prove that there was his room. He explains it. He's much better at like telling the story than I am, obviously. But yeah, no. Usually, you could probably find it on YouTube. The two stories he tells about that night, and they're pretty funny.
God, yeah, I love it. Those stories go on.
So yeah, many great upsets in the wrestling business.
Do you think we're going to see any more though?
Obviously. It's a good story. You're going to see a lot of upsets in the WWE because it's a good story to tell.
I always wondered about that because I feel like sometimes with the way the internet works these days and how everyone tries to be like dirt sheets and everything, I feel like it's very hard sometimes to capture a surprise ending or even an upset.
You know what? One match, I mean, you could call it an upset, but you really can't because of the movement that was behind it. Well, two matches that you could call because of the movements behind them. Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30.
I personally don't consider that an upset.
That's why I said you can, but you can't because of the movements behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And then WrestleMania 35.
Which one?
Kofi.
Oh.
You can consider it an upset because of everything he had to go through, but then you can't because you kind of figured that with the Kofi Mania movement going on, that they were going to put the title on him.
Yeah, I don't know if I really consider that an upset.
Now, if he had beaten Brock Lesnar for the title and then lost it to Daniel Bryan, that'd be a different story. That would have been an upset. But instead, they had him beat Daniel Bryan and then lose it to Brock Lesnar. So if they did it in the reverse order, that would have been an upset.
Very strange.
Indeed.
Man. Well, let's see in the future. We're going to see more upsets, but a good upset beats a good swerve.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Thank you, Russo.
Bro.
Fuck Russo.
No thanks.
With a broomstick.
On a pole match.
Covered in glass and thumbtacks.
Oh, but tell us how you really feel. Anyway.
I'm sorry. I keep telling you guys that my whole brain mouth filter thing just hasn't come back from the repair shop yet.
Nope. No filter. NoFilter.com.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, everybody.
Gentlemen, this was a good one. We had some good matches brought up.
Mm-hmm. Memories.
Yeah. Stuff from even before we were born.
My house wrestling has changed.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. All right,
gentlemen.
Take it away.
Next week, we're looking at some of the greatest faces in wrestling history.
Ooh. Faces, yes.
Yes. Some of the greatest heroes don't well, no. I
was gonna say not just the ones you kiss.
You definitely have a face built for radio.
Yeah.
We all do.
And you have a face built for painting. I know that my jokes
Yeah, but the only problem is you're wearing my paintbrush.
So that's what the beard's for. Oh Lordy.
Oh, the ziggers that are going to come out of this one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. We got a lot.
You got some work to do, Bill.
I got class in this. It's going to be my third video this week. Good gracious. I need to get paid for this. So subscribe, damn it. So we can get some paid. All
right, gentlemen. As always, until next week. Too sweet.
And